Carl Jung spent decades analyzing over 80,000 dreams. What he discovered shocked the world. Dreams weren't random images or meaningless noise, they were messages. Encoded symbols sent from the unconscious, trying to guide us, warn us, and sometimes even transform us. But here's the truth. Most people never go beyond the surface. They miss the deeper levels. Tonight, we'll peel back those layers and explore the 5 levels of Jungian dream. Interpretation from the first sparks of the hypnagogic state to the visions that connect us to the collective unconscious itself, hypnagogic geometric patterns that create doorways to unconscious communication. The journey begins with level 1, the hypnagogic gateway. This is the threshold between waking life and the dream world. A fleeting state most of us pass through every night without ever noticing. You've likely felt it before, that moment when your body is heavy but your mind is still half awake. When strange patterns flash behind your closed eyelids and you begin to drift into something not quite waking, not quite sleeping. To Carl Jung, this was far from meaningless static. He believed this state was the first language of the unconscious, a subtle knock at the door, asking if you are ready to enter. In this space, shapes, colors, and lights often appear. Some people see shifting geometry, spirals that fold into themselves, or even faces that vanish as quickly as they arrive. Modern science explains these as neurological activity, but Jung looked deeper. He saw them as symbols, fragments of meaning struggling to emerge, like whispers from a hidden dimension of the mind. For him, the hypnagogic gateway wasn't simply a trick of the brain. It was the opening key, the first stage of dialogue with the unconscious. Most of us dismiss these flashes. We shrug them off as the random noise of a tired mind. But according to Jung, this is a mistake. Ignoring these patterns is like ignoring the first words of a story your psyche is trying to tell you. If you train yourself to observe them, to hold on to that fragile space instead of rushing into full sleep, you may discover something remarkable. These shapes and fragments can act like doorways, guiding you into deeper levels of dream communication, where personal truths and hidden emotions lie waiting. Think of it as the lobby of a vast inner cathedral. You haven't stepped inside yet, but you can sense the presence of something sacred. The hypnagogic gateway is that lobby. It prepares you. It introduces you to the language of symbols. And if you pay attention, it can show you that even the simplest flicker of light or shifting pattern has meaning. To cross this threshold is to admit that your dreams are not accidents. They are messages. And this is only the first level of decoding them. Personal shadow integration through compensatory dream scenarios, level 2, takes us deeper into the realm of the shadow. This is where dreams stop showing you random fragments and begin holding up a mirror. Jung called this process shadow integration, and it is one of the most challenging yet transformative stages of dream interpretation. The shadow is everything we reject, deny, or hide about ourselves. Anger we don't admit, desires we suppress, weaknesses we refuse to face. In waking life, we push these parts into the dark. But in dreams, they return. And they don't come back gently. They return through compensatory scenarios that balance what your conscious mind refuses to see. Imagine this. In your daily life, you always play the role of the calm, controlled individual. You never raise your voice, never show anger. Then, in a dream, you find yourself screaming uncontrollably, maybe even violent. It shocks you. But Jung would say this is not just chaos, it's compensation. Your unconscious is correcting the imbalance, forcing you to experience the emotions you suppress in waking life. The dream isn't punishing you, it's revealing the truth of your inner landscape. This is why Jung stressed that dreams are not random. They are purposeful. When you see yourself acting in ways you'd never imagine, when characters confront you with uncomfortable truths, or when you feel trapped in situations that don't make sense, it is often your shadow speaking. These compensatory scenarios are designed to make you whole, to integrate the forgotten and unwanted pieces of who you are. At first, this can feel threatening. No one wants to meet the parts of themselves they've spent years denying. But Jung believed that until you face the shadow, you remain incomplete. Dreams that reveal the shadow are invitations to growth. They say, here is your anger, your fear, your envy. Not to shame you, but to remind you that these pieces also belong to you. And until you acknowledge them, they will continue to haunt your dreams in sharper and stranger forms. So when a dream disturbs you, don't dismiss it. Ask instead, what imbalance is it correcting? What part of myself is speaking here? If you listen carefully, you'll find that shadow dreams don't just expose your hidden side, they guide you toward balance. This is the essence of level 2. The unconscious creating dream scenarios that compensate for what the conscious mind refuses to see. It is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Because only by confronting your shadow can you begin the real journey into the deeper levels of the psyche. Archetypal encounters with universal psychological patterns shared across cultures. By the time you reach level 3, your dreams shift into something far greater than personal memories or suppressed emotions. Here, you encounter what Jung called the archetypes, universal patterns that appear across every culture, every age, and every mythology. These are not just characters in your private imagination. They are ancient symbols woven into the very fabric of the human psyche. To meet them in your dreams is to step into a shared theater that transcends your own life. Consider how often people report dreaming of the same figures: the wise old man, the nurturing mother, the trickster who deceives, the shadowy pursuer, or the heroic warrior facing impossible odds. Even if you've never read a myth or studied a religion, these images can still appear. Why? Because Jung believed they emerge from the collective unconscious, a reservoir of timeless patterns carried by all humanity. In this way, archetypal dreams are not just about you. They are about all of us. For example, a dream of being lost in a labyrinth is not unique. It echoes the ancient Greek myth of the Minotaur's maze, but it also reflects a universal human fear, the struggle of being trapped, searching for meaning, fighting to find a way out. When you dream of such a symbol, you are tapping into something deeper than your individual story. You are entering a myth that countless others before you have also walked through. Archetypal encounters often feel different from ordinary dreams. They carry a weight, a charge, as if the dream itself is larger than your personal life. Many people describe these experiences as sacred or haunting, as though they've brushed against a truth too big to put into words. Jung suggested that these encounters are like messages from the deepest strata of the unconscious, guiding you not just to face your shadow, but to recognize your place in the larger human story. To ignore such dreams is to miss their power. They remind us that while our personal struggles feel unique, they are part of patterns shared across time. Whether you dream of gods, monsters, or journeys through strange landscapes, these are archetypes calling you to pay attention. They are not random. They are the timeless teachers of the psyche, appearing in symbolic form to push you toward growth. This is the essence of level 3. To realize that your dreams connect you to humanity itself. They reveal that deep inside you lives the same wisdom, the same fears, the same stories that have guided human beings for thousands of years. And once you recognize this, you begin to see your dreams not just as reflections of your life, but as encounters with truths that belong to us all. Collective unconscious visions that access primordial human experiences. Level 4 takes us into the deepest waters of the dream world, the collective unconscious. If archetypes are the universal characters and patterns we encounter, then visions from the collective unconscious are the stage itself, the primordial ground from which all human experience emerges. These dreams feel different. They don't just carry personal or symbolic weight. They feel vast, timeless, as though you have slipped beyond your own mind and entered a shared field of human memory. Jung described the collective unconscious as the hidden layer of the psyche that every human being carries, regardless of culture, language, or history. It is where the ancient experiences of humanity live on, encoded as symbols, myths, and visions. When you access this level in your dreams, you may find yourself walking through landscapes that seem older than civilization, deserts that stretch forever, oceans without end, or mountains that feel eternal. These are not simply backdrops. They are expressions of the human journey across millennia. People who dream at this level often report encounters that feel strangely prophetic, or visions that link their lives to something far larger. A farmer in modern times may dream of a flood that recalls ancient myths of destruction and rebirth. A child may dream of winged beings, not because she has studied mythology, but because such symbols are hardwired into the collective psyche. In these moments, your dream becomes more than a private experience. It becomes a window into humanity's oldest memories. These visions can be both awe-inspiring and unsettling. They may show you images of creation and destruction, of gods and monsters, of cosmic cycles beyond human control. Jung warned that such dreams should never be taken lightly. They carry enormous psychological energy, what he called the numinous quality, a sense of the sacred that overwhelms ordinary understanding. To confront these visions is to realize that your psyche is not isolated. It is connected to the river of human history itself. Think of it this way: when you stand at the edge of the ocean, you sense the power of something that existed long before you were born and will continue long after you are gone. Collective unconscious visions are the same, but within the dream. They remind you that you are part of a story that began thousands of years ago and is still unfolding today. These dreams can inspire profound creativity, awaken spiritual insight, and, at times, destabilize the ego, because once you've glimpsed the collective unconscious, you can never again believe that dreams are just personal illusions. They are connections to the deepest roots of the human soul. Individuation dreams that fundamentally transform personality and identity. Level 5 is the summit of Jungian dream. Interpretation. Individuation dreams. These are not ordinary dreams, nor are they easily forgotten. They carry with them the power to change you at the deepest level, to transform your very personality and identity. Individuation, as Jung described it, is the lifelong process of becoming whole, of integrating every hidden piece of the psyche into a unified self. And in dreams, this process can unfold in ways more vivid and undeniable than in waking life. At this level, the dream no longer just reflects your hidden emotions or connects you with ancient archetypes. Instead, it begins to guide you toward your fullest potential. You may encounter a figure who feels like both stranger and guide, sometimes appearing as a wise mentor, sometimes as a radiant version of yourself. These encounters are not symbolic riddles to decode. They are direct experiences of your psyche leading you toward wholeness. Imagine dreaming of stepping through a series of doors, each one forcing you to shed something you once thought defined you: fear, ego, even cherished identities. By the final door, you stand as someone both familiar and transformed. Such dreams are not mere fantasy. They are rehearsals for psychological rebirth. They prepare you to live more authentically in waking life, to embrace a version of yourself that is not fractured but complete. For Jung, individuation dreams were the highest form of unconscious communication. They revealed that the psyche is not simply a storehouse of repressed memories or collective images, but a living system always pushing toward balance and growth. These dreams show you what you could become if you dare to listen, if you dare to integrate all that you are: shadow and light, fear and wisdom. Many people who have such dreams describe them as life-altering. They wake not just with images in their mind, but with a sense that something inside has shifted. Sometimes it's a vision of death and rebirth. Sometimes an encounter with a luminous figure. Sometimes a union of opposites, masculine and feminine, conscious and unconscious. Always, the message is the same. You are more than who you think you are. The dream calls you to expand, to become whole. This is the essence of level 5, individuation through dreams. To reach this stage is to experience transformation at the core of your being. These are not simply stories played out in sleep. They are the psyche's blueprint for your evolution. And if you follow their guidance, you may find yourself waking into a life that feels entirely new. A life shaped not by fear or fragmentation, but by the wholeness of your true self. By now, you've seen how Jung believed dreams are not random at all. They are coded messages from the unconscious, guiding us through 5 levels of discovery, from the first flickers of hypnagogic light, to the shadow we must face, to the archetypes that connect us with humanity, the visions of the collective unconscious, and finally, the dreams that transform us into something whole. The question is, what are your dreams trying to tell you? It's easy to brush them off, to wake up and let them dissolve like mist. But if you start paying attention, if you write them down, reflect on them, and look beyond the surface, you'll begin to see the patterns. You'll notice the warnings, the guidance, and maybe even the glimpse of who you are meant to become. Your unconscious is already speaking to you every night. The real choice is whether you're willing to listen. So tonight, when you dream, don't dismiss it. Instead, ask yourself, which level am I walking through? Am I just seeing the first sparks? Am I wrestling with my shadow? Or am I standing at the threshold of something far greater? The answers are waiting in the symbols, in the images, in the stories your unconscious is weaving for you. Remember, dreams are not just about sleep. They are about transformation. They are your map to the deeper layers of your mind, and maybe to a new version of yourself. Pay attention, write them down, and follow where they lead. Because the journey doesn't end when you wake up. In many ways, that's when it truly begins.